here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Community Little Theater, we have Jeorganna and John and Viri back with us. Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Just fine.
Morning.
And
Good.
how are you?
Doing good. I know it's Monday, and it's early.
Yeah, it is.
I know that's rough. But I gave you the other day. Viri picked. I don't know.
Well, it made one wonder.
That was true.
Well, first off, it's great to see that. I know you guys have been busy as a theater company, even through COVID, with different events and things that you guys, within the social distance, all the stuff we could do in the parameters. But I feel like this one's like the first full-on play. Just come, it's like, all right, we're ready to do this. Come on out. The fall's here. Kids are going back to school. Well, it's not technically fall yet, but it's feeling fall-like.
And it's a musical, Mike.
And it's a musical.
What a best way to begin.
So we got a full-on play. You get to come out and, bring the whole family out and enjoy some live theater. It's kind of nice change of pace. I'm guessing you guys would agree on that.
Oh, yes, definitely. We're doing Bye Bye Birdie, and the cast is largely teenagers.
Oh, so a younger group here.
And,
okay.
it's very nice.
Very much fun. I'm one of those.
And me. Younger group and me.
I was just going to play with that, Viri.
Well, I just like to say that because it's been rough on the kids. And so kids that love theater, there hasn't been much for them to be able to do.
Sure.
Where, like you say, the adults, we've been kind of doing little things. But this is the first time we've really had a large cast of the younger actors in town.
Excellent. So with it, for folks who don't know, the Roswell Community Little Theater also works with the CAPS program, the Kids Arts program, which is very much part. Graveside Manor is one of the things I think the CAPS program is part of, and all that. They do all kinds of stuff there. But anyway, so I was asking, are some of the CAPS kids working with this one as part of the Bye Bye Birdie? Is this all teenage adults or
we have one little girl about the age of 10, but some of the teenagers did grow up in CAPS and spent many years.
So they may have got some of their chops doing some of that stuff. And now some of them are probably doing or did some high school production stuff when they could, I guess, with COVID and everything. They probably haven't done much of that either. So, well, good deal. So this is kind of fun. This sounds like it's so now. Now, what's the youngest cast member? Are they all teenagers aged? Or
well,
are they
like
some
I said, we have one little girl. She's about 10, and the rest of them, I would say, would run between 15 to 17.
Okay, very cool. Now, is this a larger cast? I know Bye Bye Birdie. I've heard of it, but I've never seen the story, so I'm not familiar with I know of the story, don't know, and we'll talk about that. But is this a larger cast, or is this a pretty small cast or average? Because I know some stories have 6 people. Some, you get.
This is a
dozens.
larger cast for RCLT, being a musical.
Okay.
But yes, everyone thinks they know the story, and the story of Bye Bye Birdie and Conrad Birdie going off to the Army.
I heard it. I'm not familiar with it, so I think you need to educate us on what the story is.
Okay, that's the
traditional.
That's the traditional thought, but basically, it's a love story, and it's a love story between his manager and his secretary.
Ah.
And that's the parts that John and V are playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing Albert Peterson. If anyone's seen the movie, which is completely different from the musical,
usually is.
I'm playing the Dick Van Dyke part.
Okay.
So Vi and I are the leads, and even though Conrad Birdie's in the title, it's all about us.
You see how much he loves me. He pronounces Vayanara. Viridiana. No, it's a really hard name to pronounce. It took you 10 years to learn how to pronounce it?
Well, the D's and the R's get a little. It's like a V, D, the R.
I know.
When she comes to karaoke, she says, "Hey, just put in Vi." I'm like,
Vi.
And so that's why I call her.
Hey, you go with what you go with. What
this is my love interest. The name of my character is Rosy Alvarez.
Okay.
Spanish Rose. And I'm chasing him. I'm trying to get married, and he's just running away from me. And, you need to come and see the story.
Okay. So now are they Like, is it the secretary chasing?
Well, actually,
or is there a love interest there, and he's playing hard to get?
The way he will put it is like moments of madness,
Moments of madness.
But he may come along.
Okay.
I'm more interested in the business and my mom.
I was going to say
I'm a mama's
Yeah.
boy.
That's the
he's
main
Sonny
problem. I
boy.
didn't want to say
Okay.
that, but
So I'm guessing mom and your character are in competition for his affection.
we don't get
basically.
along
Definitely.
Okay.
at all.
I get you. Okay.
And there's a lot of comic interaction through this.
Okay.
That children will love the dancing and the singing, but the adults are going to love the snappy little banter that goes
Gotcha.
on.
The quips, the sharp little
Right.
interactions between the characters.
And we've been rehearsing this for what, a month and a half now. And there's times on stage where I'm almost still cracking because it's so funny. And the main group of adults that are going back and forth with each other are so talented
Gotcha.
that it's so hard to keep a straight face.
Michelle
now,
Stewart.
now I know Viti's done a few projects before. John, have you been? Is this? Have you done a few?
This is my second on time on stage with RCLT.
Okay.
I've stage managed for a couple of times with them, but I've also I've been in every single Way Off Broadway production.
Gotcha. So you've got some.
Yeah, he's
This
a
ain't your
veteran.
first time on
No,
stage.
it's not my
Oh,
first time on
no.
stage.
Doing all that
He
shit.
is a great singer, great performer.
Now, John, are you directing it? Are you the director for this one? Or?
I'm the assistant director.
Okay.
Kathy Cook is the director.
Okay.
Kathy
Hi,
and I have
Kathy.
worked
She's
together
listening.
many times.
Good.
And I don't know. We have a good rapport.
Good.
And we both just loved, like I said, we both loved the story and
Sure.
the music in this.
So do you guys now? How much? Because we've talked, and I've talked to other directors about other performances and things. With Bye Bye Birdie, and I know we've talked about, because every play that you guys do, you have to get permissions to do that. There's a cost involved and all
Right.
of that. And I know when screenwriters, when their plays go off Broadway, so to speak, they give you guys some creative license on what you can do with the script or the set design or costumes. Others are very stringent on, no, it's got to be this way and this way. With this one, do you and Kathy get a little room to be creative, or does the script tell you exactly how everything should be, and that's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. But in this case, the script is so well written that we haven't had a problem with
Gotcha.
it.
It's just follow along
yes,
here, and it
it's
just works.
It just does.
That's
And
why they
it's-
pay them
it's
the
been-
big bucks, I
yeah.
guess, to write it.
And it's been off Broadway for so long that
Sure.
there's no those stipulations like I think Les Mis.
It's not like
has-
Hamilton or something
Yeah.
that's
No,
more
no,
stringent
definitely
on that.
not.
Like
yeah.
Les Mis has a thing where you can't use a rotating stage because they did that on Broadway, so you have to come up with your own idea for it.
Oh,
So
I
there's none of
gotcha.
those kind of restrictions.
Gotcha.
Bye Bye Birdie.
Well, that's good. I mean, in some, because obviously, you know, there's certain things that makes them really hard for you guys to do with some of that, or financially just not viable here too. So, and this is another thing I want to point out, and I haven't given dates or anything yet. We're going to be doing Bye Bye Birdie, which it'll be coming up mid-August here, the August 13th, 14th, 15th, that weekend. Those will be 7:30 performances for the Friday, Saturday nights, and then the Sundays will be a 2:30 matinee.
2:00.
2 o'clock, I'm sorry. And then on August 20th, 21st, and 22nd, it's the 7:30 and 2 o'clock again. It's Fridays.
Correct.
Basically, it's those 2 weekends. Pro tip, second weekend will sell out faster than the first weekend because most people see it the first weekend and then they take their friends and stuff and come back
Right.
and see it the next weekend. So if you have a very small window or a certain day that you're available to see it, go ahead and get your tickets online in advance through the website. And I mean, I would do that anyway, just to make it easier for everybody. But if you have a very, like, if you're just like, let's just roll up and get tickets Friday night, and you know, that might be busy. You know, that's the idea, is it might be full and things. So get your tickets in ahead of time. That way you can pick the show you want, the time you want, and all that good stuff. So,
Well, this is a different version. So many people is familiarized with the movie because I've seen people tell me, "Oh yeah, I saw the movie when I was little and this and that." But this is different. Broadway version is more about the adults, like Jeorganna was saying,
sure,
and in the movie is more about the teens.
sure.
And in the movie, Albert Peterson has a passion for chemistry, and he mixes up a concoction that makes everything go faster. And there's a turtle that like zooms across the stage. There's no turtle in the musical,
But there's magic.
Definitely not.
but it's still funny.
Now, were you guys more familiar with the movie or the play before getting into this project?
The play.
The play. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have you guys done the play before
Oh,
in other circles or other places or?
Not me.
I've never done it, and actually, I only knew of "Put on a Happy Face," the song.
Okay.
But after a year and a half of not doing shows, I started twitching, and I'm like, well, that's a musical. I like musicals, so I came out for Bye Bye Birdie, and then I started watching the movies and the plays online.
Well, and I think that's where some people, that's where the familiarity comes in. Because, every time, and I don't care who you are, if something's a book and then they make it into a movie or they make it into a play, none of the three are the same. The book's never the same as the play is never the same as the movie, vice versa, and so forth. I mean, they can get them close sometimes, but they're never the same on some of that. But Bye Bye Birdie is one of those things that there's probably a bunch of songs and a bunch of parts of the play that you just know in your head, and then you didn't realize that's Bye Bye Birdie till it starts coming on. You're like, oh, I've been knowing that song for years, or I've been knowing that little line for years, and it's from Bye Bye Birdie. You know?
And what's funny is when I'm talking to people and say, I'm in Bye Bye Birdie. And they're like, oh, we did that in high school. I've never heard that phrase come out of so many people's mouths. We did that in high school because it's a show that a lot of high schools do because it's a good show for high schools.
I'm trying to think. I would say maybe second would be The Music Man.
Yep.
Right.
That's one. Oh yeah, we did that one in high school.
You know what? I was watching the Wedding Singer yesterday, and Adam
Sandler movie.
He actually mentions. He said, from there is just Bye Bye Birdie. And I was like, oh.
We forget how much things are just in our lexicon here, and we don't realize the references and things. And a lot of times, it's a lot of it from theater and different plays or different things, and all the time you just don't realize it, catchphrases and what have you. So.
Well, and then like before, Bye Bye Birdie was kind of based on the fact when Elvis was going into the Army, and that was such a big deal at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why this is set in the 50s, and Conrad Birdie is going in, and he's going to give one last kiss to a teenage girl, and that gets this whole thing rolling, is the one last kiss, and the parents, and the kids, and the excitement of him coming to town. But if you really think about it, and you're old enough, that's all off of Elvis.
Yeah.
And actually, it was offered.
You think about that.
It was offered to Elvis to make the movie. Did you know that?
Oh.
That's a pretty funny fact.
Okay. Well, he had, that was, he had a big movie career, too, there for a little bit.
They rejected it.
Yeah. Well, I would say financially a big movie career. I don't think Elvis did a lot of Gone with the Wind type movies.
No.
Nope.
In his acting days, they were more...
since...
for the comedy girls and
a little bit of the singing, promote the records.
Sure, more of the wild adventure, and it's Elvis. Come on.
Well, that's like the part that John is playing. I know his manager. It's a funny part because the manager isn't. He wants to be big in
music.
Music, but he really isn't. It seems like Conrad is his only star. And and that's one reason he will not marry Rosie, is because he's going to make it. He's going to be King Kong.
Oh, yeah.
His prize is on the eye of fame and stardom.
Yeah.
Right.
And her eyes on the prize of him. And that's
settle down. Him to be an English teacher and all of that. Normal life.
And he wants big dreams.
Big dreams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for prep, do you guys go back and watch the plays and things, or does that taint your perspective a little bit?
I think most people do watch. They watch it because they may not play it exactly, but it does give you kind of a hint to what to do or what you don't want to do.
Sure.
What different performers have been thinking about because everybody thinks a different thing about any character, any artist will take it in a different way.
Sure.
So I always like to watch videos and check and say, and sometimes you find very interesting things because sometimes people see one line as funny, some other people as dramatic. So you get a lot of feedback.
Sure.
from
Well,
it.
and like when people do like characters of somebody else or things, and I always like to point to the Saturday Night Live example with Will Ferrell. Like we think of Harry Carey, the baseball announcer,
Yeah.
and the longtime baseball announcer, and you're like, let me hear you, and you do all that. Well, Will Ferrell did a character of him on Saturday Night Live, and it got almost more popular than him. So when people do Harry Carey, more people do the Will Ferrell Harry Carey
Right.
as opposed to the
And
actual
it's the same
Harry Carey,
character.
you know?
Yep.
And I think in acting it's easy to do that, especially with an iconic or a play that just everybody knows for a movie, and you're like, okay, am I going to do the Fred Astaire version of that, or am I going to
Yeah,
do my
exactly.
version of that? You know, and so it's always that balance there because, and which way is right, you don't know, because some people are going to be like, well, that's not very Fred Astaire like, you know, or they're going to be going, you know, well, shoot, might as well just got Fred Astaire to do it if you're going to do that, you know, and so,
Right.
Or ideally, everybody will remember you for the character you made for that. You know,
Sure.
your own character, your own style, your own flavor.
Well,
You know?
I don't think John will mind. When John was picked for this role, his first thing he said to me was, but that's Dick Van Dyke. I'm not Dick Van Dyke.
Of course,
And
you're
I
not.
looked at him and I said, John, you
You
are
are
going to
John.
be great. And we picked you because we know you're going to. And he has taken this role and just turned it into his role.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's
I-
like you said, Dick Van Dyke did a tremendously good job, but people are going to be surprised when they see John on stage.
I originally auditioned for Mr. McAfee, which was the Paul Lynde character,
Okay.
the comic relief, the dad of the daughter or the girl that's going to kiss Conrad Birdie, and I like doing the comical roles, and Albert is a comical role as well. But I saw myself as Mr. McAfee. So when Jeorganna called me to offer me Albert, I was like, and I had to look it up real quick, and I'm like,
Oh, that's the main character?
That's the main character. This is gonna be a first for me. So yeah, I was.
So obviously this was probably more than you bit into initially, but now that you're here, are you glad that this is
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
at
of
instead? I
course.
mean, like in hindsight, you're like, well, shoot, this is way better
Well,
me doing this character than I would have done what I thought.
Yeah, I'm loving it now. And the person they cast as Mr. McAfee is Ty Watley.
Oh,
and
he's
a
great
riot.
also.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
wow.
And
funny.
watching him on stage doing that part, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't get it because he's killing it.
Well, people just, you find where you're at in your niche,
Yeah.
you're comfortable. And I would imagine, too, whenever you guys do a new character or role, you kind of, there's got to be like a comparison to your own personality in that character.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time
You
you do
put
it, you
your
can't-
own
know.
being in there, and that's what's going to tell you a little bit more about John, because he has done theater for so long, and like support characters.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually, you were telling me, the first main character
This
that
is-
you're gonna be.
I've been up there on my goals in one of my goals in theater was to have the final bow. And I was Horton in Zeusical the musical, and that got me second. So that was the highest on that ladder of bows. And and Albert's the main character with Rosie at the top of that cast list. So this is gonna be the first time that I've been at the first name
Let
on
me
that
tell
cast
you
list.
what.
Top
It-
billing. Next thing is
it
like, I
was
want my name
long
above
time
the
doing
board.
Big head.
Me and Brad Pitt right up top there.
Because I've been doing theater for 6 years and I never saw myself on
Sure.
stage. And
It's really cool. You're like, hey.
high school I was in band, so that's that's a whole bunch of people. And on my first show I had never sang before, and they're like, oh, come on. And as soon as I got that bug, I want to be on stage for as long as they'll have me.
That's cool. Well, good for you. And that's the beauty of community theater too. And
Yeah.
that's what you don't realize you have these things in you sometimes until they're brought out in you, and that's cool.
Well, and I have to say this, my very first choice before you do auditions, you don't pick ahead, but you kind of think about the field of actors and actresses that you have that are available.
Sure.
And as soon as I saw Rosie, I thought of Jeorganna. And I knew that she needed someone to spar against that was just as strong personality.
Sure.
Otherwise, because you're a strong personality on
No.
stage.
am I?
Yeah.
No,
He's a strong
me.
personality now.
I told
Very
Kathy-
intimidating.
I told Kathy, I said, John will be able to keep up with her because her part is very strong, and her personality comes out in everything she acts in, and I love working with both of these people,
thank
and
you,
I hope to do
Jeorganna.
it in the future.
Now, like you said, you've been working on this couple. How long ago was your first practice? I mean, did COVID come into play here on what you could and couldn't do on this one, or I mean, as far as getting together and all that?
Well, the auditions were on June actually, and I don't remember how long you guys took to give us the news.
It was right after all the restrictions were lifted.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
the
you
re-
guys have been pretty much free to do what you need to do.
Yeah,
to get
but
this
you
one
know
ready.
what happens is that they tell you, okay, you are on, you're gonna be this, and they give you the script, and then even if it's 1 or 2 weeks before the first rehearsal, you already know, you have been practicing, you have been rehearsing at your own, at home,
Sure.
learning the songs and
Yeah.
everything, So
Probably
it's,
watched the play or the movie a couple
Yeah.
hundred times.
And we're
and
hoping
everything.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they kind of start forming the character, their idea of the character. So when they've had that first rehearsal, they're cold, but they're not frozen.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
The first time we
Paul.
rehearsed
Yeah,
Act
Paul.
2, Vi has a number. It's called The Spanish Rose. And she came in and she knew the song and choreographed her own dance already. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, I'm still like reading out of the book. I'm in trouble.
That's what I said about a strong
I know my
actress.
character's name. I nailed that.
well, that's the song that I learned for the audition. That's why I had it ready.
She has a slight advantage there, but
Yeah.
but also too, that's where the play's really made. I mean, because let's face it, you have the people trying out for the characters, and then everyone gets decided the characters, but the real work is when the cast and crew and everyone's together on those practice nights, and the cast is trying to figure out their lines and their placements. The rest of the crews figure out how to pull off the logistics of everything here, from the costuming to the set design and everything else, and it's a whole orchestra
world
going
in
on
there.
there.
Yeah.
And that's where the character building, probably the camaraderie, and the part of theater that a lot of people don't realize is the making of friends and making that's. I mean, I would imagine you guys have more fun doing like your family like events with each other. As much fun as you do the actual performance part, and that kind of thing. Now, don't get me wrong, the performance is all, but the memories you make, the friends you make, long hours, the times. Because let's face it, I know there's nights that it just stunk. There can be days where nothing works right. No one can remember lines, costume malfunctions all over the place. It's just that those things happen, but it's still.
Well, I'm glad Kathy is not here to tell you about those nights.
But all of that, because afterwards you're like, remember that time where the strap? Oh my
Well,
God!
that's fun. The fun part, like you said.
Yeah.
But you did bring up an important thing, and I'd like to mention him. Dan Tisdale, he is our producer on this, but he also designed the set again. He designed the set for me for Man of La Mancha.
Oh,
He's
okay.
very, very talented. And he's come in and he's done a wonderful job. But actually, theater is like a little family, and it works best when everybody works together. And I really do believe it's sort of you have your stars, let's say, but really it's a group effort.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because-
everybody's got a little ego and they want to shine it, and that's.
Right.
But that's where it all comes together, and
Right.
the egos work together it's just the personalities coming together, and,
Yeah, at
and
the
all
end,
of it
we-
makes a beautiful.
we just
A soup
want
at the end of the
everybody
day.
to.
Yes, it does.
We just want everybody to be together
Yeah.
and shine together
Yeah.
and have a great show all together,
Sure.
And we help each other and we listen and we learn from each other.
Absolutely, and I know for folks here, like you said, there's a lot of young talent in this one here. I've done a lot of help with some talent shows and things through the community theater a lot, and I know for a fact there's a lot of young talented individuals that have been part of the community theater in that area, and I'm guessing some of them are going to be doing their acting and singing chops in some of this performance here, and I'm not saying you will, but some of these young folks, man, they may have careers in theater at some point. You
That
know?
happens,
And,
yes.
and I'm just saying, you could be watching somebody up there. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, that kid, that's the next guy that was on whatever next Broadway musical that's going to be sitting up on Broadway here. You know, the next Hamilton or whatever it is that's going to be up there. They could have got their start right here in a community little theater just like that, because that's and it is. I know if you've ever been out to the Roswell Community Theater, go out and see if they've got their own theater. Which, by the way, they need help with
Yes.
roofing, things like that. It's a lot of money to maintain that kind of stuff. So please come out, support by coming out to the shows. If you'd like to be a member of the community theater, on the board or donations, things like that. There's all kinds of different ways you can help and get involved. Come out to one of the plays during the performances here. There'll be a lot of people that can tell you more
Please
about that.
do so. Please help us keep this alive
And
here.
they do a great job, and they're always looking for more fresh faces to come and be a part of it. Even if you're all right, you're like, well, I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't act. Okay, no problem. There is a ton of stuff that you could. Do you like to run lights? Do you like to run sound? Do you like to make costumes? Do you like to build things? Do you like to organize? Do you just like to
Help
manage
us promote.
people? Yeah. I mean, they need people just working as ushers or ticket takers or, everything you think about in a theater experience, there's somebody volunteering to help make that happen. So if you'd like to be a part of that, that's a great way to do it. And then, of course, if you're just rich and would like to come by with a big suitcase full of cash, I bet they can give you a free seat if you do that.
We would appreciate that.
But and also too, if you've never been to the communal theater, many moons ago, it was the old Park Twin Theater. When I moved here to Roswell, that's what it was. And the last movie I saw in there, I don't know if this dates me or tells me about my movie theater going or whatever. Last movie I saw in there was the movie Gods and Generals. If you remember movie,
Oh, yeah.
I saw that 3-hour movie in that theater. I think it's the last movie I remember seeing in there.
Do you
before.
remember how long ago it was?
It was early 2000s. So, because I moved here in 2001 or 2000. Yeah. And so it was somewhere in there. So
Okay.
it wasn't a good movie, by the way. I mean, I love Civil War and I love but as movies go, that's 3 hours that I didn't get my life back.
Yeah.
But now, come on out. And matter of fact, I know one of your thespian veterans, Dan Coleman. He used to work there when it was a theater still.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was telling me stories about how they used to go and have their popcorn here and like different parts of that building. Yeah, I'm not sure if he was a manager or just an employee, but yeah, he worked at the theater when it was a theater back
He's
in
a
the
good
day.
little actor. He is.
He's a very big supporter of the
is.
community theater, and when he's not acting and working, he's volunteering and doing all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, and we want to appreciate all the people that is helping all the time like that. And, of course, you, Mike, and Pecos Valley Broadcasting, because you are always supporting us with promoting.
we got the easy part. We just turn on the mics and tell y'all do the work.
But thank you.
But please, come on, Bye Birdie. Mark these dates on your calendar. First debut weekend will be August 13th, 14th, and 15th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Friday and Saturday night are 7:30 p.m. performances, and then a 2 o'clock matinee on Sunday, the 15th. And then we'll do it all over again the next weekend, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Again, 7:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday night performances, and then the 2 p.m. Sunday matinee. You can get tickets. Probably in advance tickets, best way is go to the Community Little Theater's website, which is roswelltheater.com, and spell the theater T-H, the R-E, not the eater. It's T-H. I always spell theater the eater. If you put Theatre, it'll get you to the Roswell Community Theater webpage.
Hey, Mike, they can also call 575-622-1982 to get tickets
And
as well.
reserve your ticket.
Very good, very good. So whichever way you prefer, you can do it that way too. And then, of course, tickets will be available at the door. But
Always.
But if it sells out, I'm just saying.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So
We're
if you want
hoping
to
for it.
guarantee, get it in advance. But I think if you're, excuse me, Friday, so opening nights here, you'll be okay. But I'm telling you, the second weekend, once word gets out and people are like, it was really good, you should go, and they bring friends and
Roswell
come
is
out.
big on word of mouth.
Yeah.
For any event.
We got big mouths here, Rob.
Yes.
I didn't quite mean that.
But yeah, we definitely. So get your tickets and come out for a great show. And here's the thing: even if you're like, I don't like musicals, or I don't like, it's different when you're. It's okay. I get it. You're watching a musical on TV and all that. Okay, but when you're at the theater and it's live performance, it's a whole different.
The energy
Show.
is there.
Yeah.
And especially, like I said, especially when you see these kids singing and dancing, it's just something, it makes you kind of want to clap your hands or sing
Get
along in your
involved and-
seat. Right.
Yeah, come out and celebrate the work of all the folks here. You're going to have a great time and a great show. And who knows? Maybe you come out and you're thinking, I can do that. I can do that.
Yep.
Talk to the cast after the show. They'd love to have more folks and let them give you a tour. Mm-hmm. They have a beautiful theater back there. You don't realize they got all kind of stuff behind that stage. There's like a whole costume room that's just thousands of costumes and things.
That's
and
true.
because let's face it, they do stuff from period pieces and things. So by the way, if you've got old furniture and stuff that's not dogged out but dated, if you got furniture that people are like, man, that was nice in the 70s, call the Community Little Theater. They love stuff like that because all their shows and plays, not all of them are set in the current times and things. So sometimes you need some of those furniture and those clothing items. So
Well,
you got a few
actually-
leisure suits lying around that survived the 70s. Call them. They love to have those.
Yeah, talking about the clothing. This
Yeah.
is set up on the 50s.
Yeah.
So I've been going everywhere trying to find clothing from the 50s, and you can find like from the 80s, maybe.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
the 70s.
Fashion's reciprocal. And so some
Yeah.
of those jeans and things that they wore in the
They-
50s are kind of popular
Right.
now, So there you can get away with a little.
What's funny is there's a number called Telephone Hour, and all the teens had to use a phone, and we were seeing if they could use a rotary phone, and that was quite amusing.
Oh yeah, of course
that
the
would be
teenagers
fun,
wouldn't know how to use the rotary.
You know what? If we never need like a high security area, but we don't want kids in it, maybe we should just use technology from the 50s and 60s.
That and write all the signs in cursive.
What's the security thing? It's your phone number through this rotary thing. Curses are foiled. We'll never get in.
Yep.
That's funny. I just all the time. We better wrap this up.
Yeah,
But,
I know.
again, folks, Roswell Community Little Theater, their performance of Bye Bye Birdie. It's coming up 2 weekends here, August.
August 13th.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself. August 13th, 14th, and 15th, and again August 20th, 21st, and 22nd. You can go online to the Roswell Theater website. You can also call. Give that phone number one more
please.
time.
575-622-1982.
And of course, tickets will be available at the door. Of course, the Roswell Community Little Theater in the Plains Park Shopping Center there, right next to right across from the Dollar General on, is that Hobbs?
Yeah,
Or I always
It
get
is.
the streets messed up.
Union.
Union. Yeah,
Union.
it's right there. And then behind the Icon Cinema there or Epic Cinema.
Apex.
Apex, whatever it's
Yes.
called now. Icon, Epic, the movie theater.
The movie theater down south.
Right there. So
There's just two here.
again, 2 weekends coming up here, 13th, 14th, 15th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So don't wait until the last minute because then you're going to miss out. It's just what we do. I know we're the land of manana, but get a little ahead of the game and get your tickets now. So, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share?
No,
Just come out
Awesome.
and see the show.
Well, thank you
say
guys.
hi to
Yes,
Kathy
Thank you so much,
again.
Mike.
Will do. Break a leg. I can say that
Thank
to you. guys.
you.
No,
Thank you, Mike.
They get salty
Thank
when the
you.
athletes when I say that to them. But you guys, I can do.
We know.
We
We
like
know.
that.
You like it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank
We
you
know
guys.
what you mean.
We'll see you next time. Okay?
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Take care.